How much should brands imitate or not imitate what consumers are doing with video compared to a more corporate approach? And this, and I'm going to add a little tag on this. This is a little bit more about the content as opposed to we've been talking some about production and lowering the threat level and strategy, but should brands be doing TikTok dances?
No one should be doing TikTok dances. No, I'm just kidding. So I think for this isn't something that is set in stone across the board, right? I think you really have to, as a brand offering services or products to a certain audience, you really have to ask yourself the question, is this meeting my audience where they are? Is this helpful in communicating who we are as a brand to our consumer? I think in general, and this is just, my personal preference, I do not like stiff brands, right? And so the more that you can get out and show me your humanity, whether that's via a TikTok dance or, you bake cakes on the side and you were driving and you took a turn too fast and it spilled in your car and you're like putting that reality, or just like, a sped up video of the whole thing where we see the video or the cake tip in your car and it's a whole mess. Like, I love that stuff, right? It just like shows me that you're human and that we can somehow relate to one another. So personal preference, I would be like, yeah, unless you have a really good reason why, or like why not to do something silly on TikTok or social media, then go for it. Show your humanity. If you have a really good reason why not, then yeah, maybe don't do that.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but can you think of any marketing or any brands you've seen do anything interesting with video that's like being authentic and kind of cutting through and being present and available to people in a way that's maybe surprising?
Well, I follow Adweek on Instagram, and I love a bunch of the stuff that they post. It usually is big brand centric, right? And I think one of the most recent things that they posted was a video, like a commercial that Burger King did, that essentially talked to some of the inefficiencies and ineffectiveness of marketing and kind of the idea behind brand loyalty, right? So they basically did this entire video that just spanned, decades. I don't remember what decade it started in, but they kept getting bombarded in this video with messages about going to Burger King. And it was just like, the Whopper is the stuff. You have to go get the Whopper. The Whopper is awesome. And it was like, just every place that this person went, he was bombarded with Whopper information and marketing. And he, it's modern day now. We're at the end of the commercial. He shows up at Burger King. He gets to the counter and he orders like a fish fillet or something. Like, he doesn't order a Whopper. And so it kind of like speaks to just, some of the downfalls of being bombarded by marketing all of the time. And so I think that for me, when brands can be really self-aware and, just poke fun at reality a little bit, in a tactful and more self-deprecating way, not necessarily one that's pointing fingers at anyone else. I would not recommend that you go, poo-pooing on other people, unless you're Wendy's and you're trying to get your Twitter account going, which they succeed. They're awesome at it. So yeah, brands that are self-aware, brands that are injecting a little bit of humor into their ad and video space, I think for me is always going to catch my attention more than just, hey, these are our benefits. Yeah. Right. I think, go ahead.
Yeah. Here's what I'm taking away from it is take chances, but be human, be vulnerable. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I was just going to end with, it is important to communicate why the Whopper is awesome, but also showing why Burger King is human and why it has as many faults as the rest of us does, right? And so it's just, I think that balancing act of benefits plus humanity is really helpful for me, at least as a consumer.
Yeah, that's great. Great case study. Shout out Adweek. Thanks for that Instagram post that inspired a good conversation. So we should probably tag them in that. But yeah, that's awesome.